Okay guys, thanks for tuning in to another video. So I want to start this one out right away with, we're getting close to our goal of 1,000 subscribers for the gun giveaway. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe right now. Once we get to 1,000, we'll be giving away a STOEGER STR9C free of charge. And then once we get to that point, I'll announce the next giveaway. So let's get straight into the video. So I was able to pick up the new Springfield Prodigy. This is the 4 1/4 version. Just came out a couple months ago. They've been really difficult to find. I ended up finding this, picking it up, and I haven't shot it yet. I wanted to save that for you guys and give you my first impressions, but I'll just give you a quick rundown of what I think of it, just handling it, manipulating the slide and everything. Very comfortable. I know that the stippling on the grip is great. It has like a 120 grit sandpaper feel, if you can imagine that. Very, very heavy. I think it comes in at about 32 ounces. So obviously it's not going to be probably great for conceal and carry, anything like that, but it is optics ready. I'm thinking about putting a Trigicon on there. I just haven't yet. Let's do a few shots. I'll get back to you guys and see what I think. Well, right out of the gate, my first impressions are recoil doesn't exist. And I should have mentioned this before, most of you know, but it is a 9mm double stack. It comes with 2 magazines from the factory, one 17 rounder and one 20 rounder. So it holds a lot of heat in there, guys. As I was saying, the recoil is the first thing I noticed. It doesn't exist. And I know that the weight of the gun is going to affect that quite a bit. One thing I noticed, I have a little bit of a tough time knowing where to aim with this. It seems like I had to aim pretty low. I noticed that the sights are pretty high. And obviously most people are going to put a optic on there. So right away, it's a hell of a smooth shooter. Obviously, it's a hammer fire, so the trigger's great, just like on any 1911 you're going to find. So why don't I run a few more rounds, kind of think about what I'm feeling, and let you guys know. So we're going to run through the 20 round extended mag. This is what it looks like. This is about the size. So let's run and see how it goes. Okay, so right there, I had a failure to feed. Now, looking down in there, you can see that the round is kind of angled down. So let's clear this out. So there it reset. It was almost like the spring kind of lost some tension there, and it was just kind of folded down. So let's see if we can run through the rest of these. It's my first hiccup I've had. Did it again. Show you the inside there. I'd assume it's something to do with the spring in the magazine itself. Yeah, so here's what it looks like, guys. You can see it's just sitting down in there. Let's see if I can get this thing. Okay. Not a good start for this 20 rounder. You can actually see I knocked out about 4 of them. It's kind of wedged down in there. So I want to show you guys all this stuff right away. So, you know, I'm sure this could be user error. I don't know how, but definitely could be. Tell you what, I'm going to work on getting this out so I'm not boring you guys. But anyway, that's kind of my first go around with the 20 round mag. So let me get this fixed and reset, and we'll keep on shooting. Okay, so I got about probably 6 left. I just had to tap it on a rock actually to get that spring to reset. So it seems like they're good. I don't know what else I could really do with it. So let's hope that this runs. Okay, so few hiccups here with this magazine. I had no problems with the 17. I did have all 20 loaded in there, and you know, I know a lot of you guys have experienced this, but once you get them all the way full, you have a lot of tension on that last round. So I don't know if that kind of was binding up the spring on the bottom. So I'm going to load this up again, the same mag. So I want to see if this is kind of an ongoing issue or what it is. So stay around and we'll see what it does. All right, so we got that 20 rounder loaded back up. I'm going to do a few quick shots just to see if it binds up again. It seems like it loads just fine. I wasn't forcing anything, so maybe that was just a fluke, a little bit of break-in. So let's see how it runs. So they're not binding up now. What I'm thinking happened the first time, I noticed that, like I said, on the last round I put in the previous time, it was pretty, which it will be tight, but it was pretty bound up feeling. So let's get a few different angles, run the rest of these through, and then I'll kind of give you guys my first impressions of this firearm. A lot of people are looking for it, hard to find. So let's run the rest of these through, then I'll go over a couple things with you. Okay guys, so those are my first 50 rounds with the Springfield Prodigy. So I just kind of want to go over my first impressions. Obviously I'll put out a follow-up video when I have a few hundred, 400 or 500 rounds through it. I'm actually in between deer hunting right now, so I had a little bit of time to film, so I figured I'd get this out to you. So my initial impression, so I'm going to give you my pros first right away. For how minimal the recoil is going to be the first thing you notice. Again, the gun weighs about 32 ounces. It's a steel frame 1911, so it has a lot of weight behind it. But that being said, it really is minimal recoil, and I've never had a problem with recoil on 1911s in general. I have a Colt Government 45 ACP that shoots very smooth as well. Obviously, this being chambered in 9x19 is extremely smooth. So that's my first pro. My second pro is capacity. Obviously I had the problem with this 20. After I kind of had that little hiccup in the first clip, it seems to have worked just fine. So I'll put a bunch more rounds through this magazine. Hopefully I don't have any issues. And obviously if I do, this was 100% a magazine issue. The gun didn't have a chance to feed one in there. So capacity's great. 17 and a 20 rounder, that's awesome. That's a lot in any firearm. So that's my second thing. Third is going to be the grip. I absolutely love this grip. It's extremely comfortable. It stays really planted in your hands. Here, I'll see if you can get a look at it. You can kind of imagine, like I said, about that 120 grit sandpaper. It has that exact feel to it. So I like that a lot. Lastly, I'm going to make this kind of a two-part, my last pros. Optics ready on a 1911 is just awesome, if you ask me. Don't get me wrong, I love these sights right away, the blacked out rear, the tritium front, but I will be putting a Trijicon RMR on there. So you take this off, and actually the rear iron comes off with it. Then there's a mounting plate that you can put on below that for your RMR to fit. I like that a lot. The trigger's great. They kind of have that skeletonized trigger. Most 1911 triggers are great, it being hammer fire and all. It does have a manual thumb safety on it. It does have your quarter cock safety, so if you let it go, it'll grab it there at the quarter mark. Obviously, it has a rail on the bottom for your flashlights, whatever you want on there. Really good feeling gun. So I'm going to go over a couple of cons with you. And this gun is kind of like the Staccato 2011, minus it's about $1,000 cheaper. So kind of the same concept. So my cons of it are gonna be the weight. I gotta throw that in there. It's not a big deal for me, but if you're planning on carrying it, something like that, I would say this is more of a comp feeling gun. You know, smooth shooter, optics ready, high capacity, but it is pretty heavy, like I said, at 32 ounces. Another thing is, so again, I have smaller hands. If you're a real big hand guy, this probably isn't gonna be a problem. Feels pretty big in the hand. What I'm going to show you here that really kind of doesn't work for me. is the release here. So let me see if you can get a good view on it. Probably video won't the video won't really show, but when I have it racked here, obviously the firearm is empty. Let me go to this side and see if you can get a better view. So there it is there. I physically cannot grab that. I mean, this is all I got to not adjust my grip. So if I'm gonna you know, manipulate that, I have to turn the gun obviously out of my normal firing position and let it go that way. So I know that there's a lot of people, I've seen a couple reviews on these and where they're talking, you know, you get an extension on there. I kind of think it should have came with one because not a lot of hands are going to fit that. That's nitpicky. But overall, so far, this gun is an absolute blast to shoot. I've always loved 1911s. I love that they're continuing to, you know, basically push the envelope with them, and they've always been relevant, but now you have a package like this. A lot of people like to shoot 9, that double stack, optics ready, basically just a modern version of the original 1911. And so I can't say much on reliability. It's fired great for me other than that mag issue, but the firearm itself has worked great. So once I get a bunch of rounds through there, I'll do an update video for you guys. But for now, thanks for watching. Till next time.